Okay, welcome back. So today we cover citation management in LaTeX, and I think it's one of the powerful feature and one of the wonderful ability of LaTeX that it helps us a lot. I mean, we try to include a big number of citations, and cite so many different papers in our PDF document. So it is a lot easier when we work in LaTeX if we try to change our citation or style, or we try to insert new papers, cite new papers, or remove some of the papers, some of the documents. So LaTeX makes it easier for us, as we don't need to worry about the order of the citation or the formatting of the citation. So let us start that. So here I insert a new section, and I can say today we demonstrate citation management in LaTeX. So in order to cite some document in our PDF, we need a new document which is kind of a database for us, and that document is saved with the extension .bib. In that document we put all our references in a particular format, and each reference gets its own unique label, and whenever we try to cite that particular paper, we simply refer to it by calling that label. So let me do it practically here. The first thing I do is I create a new file, and I call it let's say my references or my ref, and this will be saved with the extension of .bib. So now this my references.bib is a Bibtex file in which we will store all our references. And the way we do is we take help from so there is a particular format for writing the reference, but we can do it manually, but we don't do it manually. Practically we take a lot of help from Google Scholar, because it makes the job easier for us. So let us say this is an IEEE paper, and we want to cite this paper in our work. So the way we can do it, so of course there are many possible ways of doing this, but let me explain one of these. So we go to Google Scholar, scholar.google.com, and then we paste the title of the paper here and enter. It gives us the result of the search on Google Scholar. Here we can see there is a double quote sign, and if we place our cursor here, it gives us the message cite. So we can click on this, and it gives a small pop-up window. Here on the Bibtex we can generate the Bibtex style LaTeX for ourselves, and now we simply copy this text and paste in our my references.bib file. Now this text has the first word article, which basically refers to the fact that this is a journal article. It can also be a conference paper, then in that case LaTeX will give it the name in proceedings. It can also be a book, it can also be a URL, but for now let us stick to this article keyword. And then immediately after that, in the braces, we define the label for this citation, for this paper. Google Scholar has by default given it the name Maneuver 2020, but we can change it if we wish. So I can say BG1, and then we have the title of the paper, then we have list of authors, then we have the journal name, and then we have the publication year, and then we have name of the publisher. So now this is our first paper which we want to cite in our PDF document. So we need to use this keyword BG1. And now coming to our main.tex file, we can say here is our first paper being cited. Here the paper is in IEEE axis, and now here we want to cite the paper, so we use the word cite, the keyword cite. So we say \cite, and then within braces we simply type in the label of that reference. In this case the label is BG1. This is not done yet, but let me demonstrate. If we want to generate the PDF, we can generate the PDF, and what LaTeX does is it puts these square brackets, which basically means that there is some reference coming up, but within those square brackets it does not have any number, and rather it has a question mark, which basically means that the LaTeX is expecting some reference here, because we have asked the LaTeX to put a reference here, but we haven't told LaTeX, we haven't told overleaf where does the reference occur. So it does not know automatically that there is a file myreference.bib where we have defined the reference. We need to specify the path of this file, and we need to kind of include this file. So the way we do it is we say bibliography, and then within braces we give the name of the file as an input, myreferences.bib. and now if we generate the PDF, and then we also define the style of the bibliography style, and we can have many different styles. In this case let me just select plain and generate the PDF, and we can see that it has generated the list of references. In this case we only have one reference, and it has given the number 1 to this reference. We can also include a second reference. So what we can do it, we just choose another paper, copy the title of the paper, and go to Google Scholar, paste the title, enter, and then cite, and now click on the Bibtex. It will generate the Bibtex for us, and then we copy it and paste in our main database file. And again, if you wish, you can change the label, and now we can cite this work by saying here is another paper, and then we say \cite and bg2. And now if we generate the PDF, we can see that it has basically generated the list of paper, the list of references, and here is the citation for this. Here is another paper, in square brackets it says 1. Now this is not in IEEE style. You can use the style which you need, but I mostly work with IEEE style, so I would say IEEE TR, which is a kind of IEEE transactions style. And now it will automatically take care of the number in sequence, and it says here is another paper, square bracket 2, and then the square bracket 2 is this particular paper. Coming to this document, which we can call as the database document for our particular set of references, we can have as many references in document as we wish, maybe few tens and few hundreds. We don't need to worry about this numbering, to worry about the order in which these appear, because LaTeX main file will automatically take care of that if we use the correct label. If you don't use the correct label, then LaTeX will not be able to identify the particular reference. Let's say in this case the label for this reference is BG2, and somehow I mess up the label here and I say BG3, it's just by mistake, and then I compile the file. So now I can see that LaTeX is unable to include this particular paper in our list of references, and here it says a question mark, which basically means that LaTeX is expecting a reference with the keyword with the label bg3, but in our main document, in our references.bib database document, we don't have any reference with the label bg3. So we need to take care of the correct naming of the labels, and whenever we call these, we should take care that we don't make any mistake in calling these references. Again, coming to the bibliography style, in this particular case we have used IEEE transaction style, but you are free to use any style for the kind of publisher you are preparing the document for. So it can be Chicago style, it can be a plain document, it can be any other style as you wish. One more thing, I just wanted to be a demonstration of the of how good this LaTeX is in managing the citation for us. So let me go to another bigger document where I have many more references. Over here in this document, I can see that I have 40 or 50 different references, which all of these are stored on this large database document. Again, I don't need to worry about the sequence of in which these references appear, because the main file will automatically take care of the correct numbering. Over here in the main file, I have cited these papers at many different locations, so I can search for it, /cite, and then at the end of the document, I have defined the bibliography style, and I have imported the file ref.bib. Now if I want to delete any reference from this, I can simply remove that. I can insert a new reference, and I don't need to worry about the numbering, because LaTeX will automatically take care of that. So it makes working with larger documents much easier, where we have many tens of and maybe few hundreds of references involved. So this was just for demonstration purpose. I'm not going to make any changes in this document, and let me move back to my main guide. So over here, if you want to insert any new reference, we can again go to Google Scholar and put a new reference here. Let's say I say deep learning, and here is the book, famous book of deep learning, and I can say, I can copy and paste the text here. Now if we see the keyword over here is @ book and not @ article, because this is a book, and the label is Goodfellow 2016 deep. So let me copy this label, and I want to cite it here. The book by Ian Goodfellow is, and I can say cite, and then paste the label. Again, when I generate the PDF, it will automatically insert this book at number 3. If I change the position of this, I don't need to change it in the main database, and I can simply change it here. Now I can see that in the text the book is appearing before the rest of the papers, and if I generate the PDF, it will automatically correct the numbering for me, even if the sequence in which they appear in the main database file is not changed. I don't need to change it there. So this is how we can manage our references in LaTeX. This is a wonderful method. I always use this Bibtex. There is another simple method where people try to insert all the references in the same .txt file, but I would recommend to use Bibtex style of formatting, and I think it's much easier to work with, much convenient and much efficient way. Thank you, and please do practice on this, and if you have any questions, please type them in the comment section.